my fellow classmates to Crash Course History Judaism. Now, we aren't talking about the Jews of today who eat bagels and lox and throw lavish bar mitzvahs. No, we are talking about the original Jewish people, the ones who walked thousands of miles of desert to end up in present-day Israel. Judaism is considered to be the first monotheistic religion, meaning they worship in one God. The roots of this religion begin with this guy named Abraham. He was born in Ur and believed in one single creator. Eventually, according to the Old Testament, God came to Abraham and said, "If you go walk around for a year, I'll bless you with a great nation." This was like hitting the lottery in the ancient world. Anyway, Abe walked around present-day Israel for years, but was growing old and wanted children. Abraham and his wife Sarah never had children, and well into their 90s, Sarah gave birth to their son Isaac. Although biologically impossible, let's continue. Isaac had two sons named Jacob and Esau. They fought all the time, but that's not the point. Centuries later, the Jews were in Egypt where the pharaohs hated them. Moses came along and said, "Let's get the heck out of here." So all the Jews left, but didn't let their bread rise, hence matzah, also known as cardboard. Moses led the Jews out of Egypt, parted the Red Sea, got lost for 40 years, and eventually ended up in Israel where he died. If only Moses had a GPS, how different history would have been. But before he died, Moses and his followers ended up in Mount Sinai in Egypt, where God came to them. There, God appeared to Moses and made an agreement with him. God declared that all of the Israelites were his own people, and that they must listen to God and obey his laws. It's his way or the highway, but in their case, the desert. These laws were part of the Torah, but also known as the Ten Commandments, which were given to Moses on 2 stone tablets. They set out the basic principles that would govern the Israelites' lives through daily activities to marriage, relationships, and civil laws. Judaism continued to spread and prosper with all odds against them. The laws in history are still felt around the world today. And now to Cassie.
Hi, Cassie. So, as my colleague Alexa mentioned before, Jews believe in one God, commonly known as Yahweh, who reveals himself to human beings. He is caring, obedient, fair, and extremely awesome. His power affects destinies of individuals and of nations.
Too bad that God can't control Miley Cyrus in all of her music videos.
Anyway, this was unlike the polytheism of the Roman Empire. This is illustrated in the phrase, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." The Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible revealed to Moses, and the Talmud is the written interpretation of the Hebrew Scriptures. The Jews do not believe in original sin, since people are made in God's image.
Well, they clearly didn't visit Las Vegas or watch Honey Boo Boo.
They believe that Israel is their promised land, which is fought over for the next thousands of years. Orthodox Jews follow strict dietary laws that are kosher laws. They have a legal system to guide proper behavior, religious, familial, sexual,
nice,
etc. The 10 Commandments,
not the movie,
are revered as the heart of the revelation to Moses at Mount Sinai. It dealt with daily activities and relationships between people. The kingdom of priests and a sacred nation, God forbade intermarriage with outsiders. He also prohibited eating animals that do not have hooves and fish that do not have scales and fins.
Pretty much they can't eat anything delicious, aka bacon.
There was centralized worship in the hands of a priestly aristocracy, and animal sacrifices did occur. They created a sacred calendar, and Jewish leaders reconstituted earlier polytheistic celebrations of nature into national religious celebrations.
Such as Hanukkah. Next, we have Simona, a real-life Jew, to read the open letter.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the open letter, or as we like to call it, Storytime with Simona, a real Jew. And today we'll be talking about the 10 plagues from the story of Passover. We all heard the story. Jews were slaves in Egypt under the Pharaoh and needed a way to get out. God chose Moses to take the Jews out of there. Moses went to Pharaoh and was like, "You need to let my people go, or else." That whole "or else" part was going to be the punishment that Egypt was going to get from God, and they did. Those plagues were אלו 10 המכות שהביא הקדוש ברוך הוא על מצרים במצרים, ואלו הן. These are the 10 plagues which the Most Holy, blessed be Thee, brought upon the Egyptians in Egypt, and these they are: Dam,
Blood,
Tzodea,
frog,
Kinim,
vermin,
Arov,
a mixture of noxious beasts,
Dvar,
pestilence,
Shchin,
boil,
Barad,
hail,
Arava,
locust,
Choshech,
darkness,
and Makat Bechorot.
the slaying of the firstborn.
After these 10 punishments, the Pharaoh decided to let the Jews leave. Without the 10 plagues, no one would have been able to walk with their best friends, aka camels, for 40 years, and find what is now a little piece of land that a bunch of people fight over. But they all lived happily ever after. As a side note, I would like to personally thank that Pharaoh for letting my people go. Hoping you enjoy story time with a real Jew.
Some say that Sarah did not really do much except for giving birth to Abraham's son, but it's not all true. Before giving birth to her son, she and Abraham had a housemaid by the name of Hagar. When Sarah was unable to get pregnant, she saw that Abe wasn't too happy about that. Sarah desperately wanted Abe to have a legacy. She decided to do the unthinkable and told Hagar that she shall give Abe a child. What could Hagar have possibly done but to listen to her boss? So that's what she did. Hagar gave birth to her son, but soon after an angel came and gave Sarah the ability to get pregnant at the age of 90 and gave birth to Isaac. Seeing that she needed her husband, she told Abe to tell Hagar that she must leave their house immediately. Not knowing what he should do, Abe talked to God, and God told him that he shall listen to what his wife said, and that's what he did. Hagar left with her son by the name of Ismael. God confirmed to Hagar that her son will be promised a great nation. Ismail turned out to be Islamic, connecting the Jews and the Islams with a common father to their people. This is sibling rivalry at its best!
East. Sarah and Abraham were from Mesopotamia, which is present-day Iraq. The Babylonian Talmud was written there. Passover comes from Egyptian Jews, and Purim is derived from Iranian Jews. Hebrew is developed from other Semitic languages from the region. The Persian Empire let the Jews return to Israel after Babylonian exile. However, many stayed under Persian Empire. Some went back to rebuild Israel, while others moved to present-day Iraq, Iran, Syria, Yemen, Egypt, India, China, and Afghanistan. The ones who chose to rebuild Israel were eventually destroyed by the Roman Empire and enslaved. When Rome fell, some went to Spain and Portugal, but were only able to stay until the Spanish Inquisition. After that, some fled to the Turkish Empire and South America due to persecution. In the early 20th century, many left for Israel, France, and the UK. During the Holocaust from 1939 to 1945, 6 million Jews were killed, taking a serious toll on the world's Jewish population. In 1948, Israel was established as a Jewish state. As of 2012, there were 13.7 million Jews in the world. The largest concentration of Jews are in Israel and Fairlawn, New Jersey. Other countries have smaller Jewish populations, including France, Canada, the United Kingdom, and Russia. The population of Jewish people has increased since 1880, but it is still not one of the biggest in the world.
In case you didn't know, Jesus Christ was in fact Jewish. His followers were Jewish people living in the Roman Empire who believed that he was the Messiah or Savior. God promised them to restore their homeland, Israel. Christianity began as a movement within Judaism and was not considered a rebellion against the established faith. As Jews became more and more upset with the Roman Empire, Christianity gained more popularity. However, some Jewish people thought that Jesus' teachings did not focus enough on the traditions. So they helped the Romans execute him. when he resurrected 3 days later, more people believed in his teachings. Christianity became a new continuation of Judaism. In Rome, Christians were blamed for problems like famine, disease, and the Real Housewives of New Jersey. They were persecuted for not believing in Roman gods. After seeing the compassion and brotherhood among persecuted Christians, more people joined them. The religion grew and became the dominant faith of Europe.